So for FY12 now, we'd be looking at about 1.4 to 1.5 billion. We've already spent close to about $1 billion, as you've seen, in the half year for the Africa business. And the important piece over there is that we've gotten a lot of the supplies already. So it's now a lot more about our deployment.
First, of course, the TRAI recommendations which will come in, we expect consolidation happening in India. And secondly, the whole issue of 3G roaming, how does that impact your 3G plans in India?
Okay, let me comment on the TRAI recommendations first and say that we've just gone through the recommendations yesterday, and prima facie I would say that these seem to be a very balanced set of recommendations. In particular, I would like to talk about spectrum sharing, M&A norms, which seem very iterative, but what is very encouraging is the entire rural rollout incentive that the regulator wants or is recommending for the sector. We believe what USO has not been able to do over the last many years, this single recommendation is capable or has the potential of doing. This should incent all serious operators to look at how to reach telephony in the hands of people living in villages which have 500, 1,000 population, which otherwise many would refrain from. So I think this is clearly a very accretive and the right direction recommendation by the regulator. The ones that would cause a little bit of dialogue, and probably for us to go back and have a dialogue with the regulator and DOT, would be one around the IP1 levy, because very clearly at one end we want to share the passive infrastructure, but this seems a little disruptive to that aspect because it makes it a little more expensive and dear, and which is contrary to what the government's agenda would be in the long run. The other thing that definitely comes across our mind is that why the question of clubbing the CDMA and GSM spectrum has not been raised by anybody. I mean, a spectrum is a spectrum is a spectrum. This is a golden opportunity for us to look at spectrum as a unified strand rather than being divided between CDMA and GSM. And that debate is certainly absconding. So I would say overall definitely a balanced set of recommendations, and we think they are all in the right direction. On the one-time fee, obviously he's also talking about a market mechanism of governing and auctioning as a process. We've always been supportive of that. Once government finds, after all the fact-finding, what is the right methodology of baselining the existing spectrum, I think then after that, whatever formula gets applied should be uniformly applied to everybody, irrespective of the timing of entry, whether new or old. If everybody is on a level playing field, we are absolutely okay with it. Let me answer his question and then. Yes. So that's an industry issue which the industry has taken up, and yesterday COI addressed their views, and one of the publications has written about representation made by the companies who've been pursuing this strategy. We strongly believe that we are absolutely in the right, and our current licenses allow us to do 3G ICR and took explicit permissions from the government, before getting into these arrangements. And moreover, it is very positive for the customers, giving him choice. At one end, we are looking at a competitive world, and on the other hand, we want to restrict the number of operators. So I think that's a little dichotomous. On the other side, the government earns more revenue on a scarce spectrum by virtue of more people contributing to the exchequers, and also it is the best utilization of that scarce resource which is there. Also, I would like to mention that government has a broadband agenda, and whatever accretive steps can be put to bring about the broadband agenda must be encouraged. And this is one of the aspects which actually encourages the spread of broadband. So in every which way I see, the exchequers gain, the customers gain, and the industry by and large is happy doing it. So, one doesn't understand who's unhappy. So we think, every which way we made a plea to the government, and we are very confident confident that the minister who's been looking at all forward-looking policies will look very positively towards our request.
A couple of questions. We have the telecom secretary, and he says that he's hopeful of implementing the TRAI recommendations towards the end of this year. That would mean that the one-time spectrum fees issue would also come up within this fiscal. Do you think it will have, though you have mentioned that there are some regulatory provisionings which have been prudently applied to in the calculation for this for this quarter, but do you think it will have an impact going forward? That is one. Secondly, to you, Manoj, looking at the employee numbers in Africa, it has come down year on year. Is that the way forward, or are you pruning the operations in Africa?
So, Kumar, let me say that as prudence, we provide for whatever needs to be provided in our books, and because many matters are sub judice, I don't want to belabor which belongs where at this moment. But as far as levy of a one-time fee is concerned, like I said, once the basis for determining that is there and transparently shared with everybody and uniformly and equitably applied, we will be happy to comply with whatever government wants us to do. Like I said, I cannot give you more details than that because a lot of matters are sub judice, and under those circumstances, it's not prudent for me or the company to disclose any figures.
Okay. Can you give us an idea of what is your ARPU for 3G?
Can Manoj answer the question, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay. Good morning. There's happy news from Africa. We are very happy that Africa is offering a stable performance and now started to make a contribution, maybe in a small way, contribution to the overall growth of Bharti Airtel. And we are confident that Africa will become, quarter after quarter, a major growth driver for Bharti Airtel. Africa, in terms of top-line growth, has done 7% based on local currency basis and 5.3% on reported dollar currency basis, which is faster than other competitors in Africa, which clearly means that our rollout, our distribution, our brand strength, our execution capability is picking up surely in various countries of Africa. At the same time, the transformation of our business model in Africa, replication of Indian model as well as certain aspects of Africa business model are being progressed very steadily. The point you made about manpower is part of that transformation. As you know, we are an outsourced company, hence the outsourcing of IT to IBM, outsourcing of network managed services to Ericsson, Nokia and Huawei, and outsourcing of call center staff to 3 BPO partners has been continuing through the year. And you see some impact of about 350 employees this quarter, and you will continue to see this impact for maybe a couple of more quarters.